Hey friends, it's Tasha from Stardust Gold Crochet and the Infinite Yarniverse. Today I'm going to show you how to go through and do a little bit of the assembly video and also a little bit of the tips and tricks on how to complete this new Winter Whispers pocket scarf. And it's mosaic combined with traditional crochet. And it's a really fun scarf. It looks beautiful on, and I don't know, I was thinking about doing buttons and some tassels. I decided not to because I really just like the simplicity of it. So let's get started. The materials are pretty simple. I used Create by Yarnsmith, which is a 3-weight yarn DK, and I used Premier DK colors. And this comes in tons of colorways. I used this specific one called Strata. And for the hooks, for the star pattern, I'm using a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. And for the main body of the scarf, I'm using a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. So in the video, I'm going to show you how to assemble the scarf, how to do the edging, and the full pattern is available in the Colorwork Crochet Club right now. It's exclusive for 6 months in the club. And you can find all those details on the Colorwork Crochet Club down in the description below. And I'll also put a little note right above so you can see it right there and just click it. The scarf includes mosaic crochet mixed with traditional crochet. It's created using basic stitches like single crochet, double crochet, and that's about it. This is all a single crochet and double crochet scarf. Super simple. Okay, so after you make 2 of these, and you start crocheting your scarf, this is what mine looks like. I started off with blue and I had about 4 solid rows of blue and then went into that. So I did just deconstruct mine just a little bit to get this kind of flow that I wanted. And I'm going to show you how my flow went. So my flow went from, I'm going to move all this stuff back. My flow went from the blue to the brown color and then this kind of like creamish pink color, and then it went from doubling up, so it went from white to white. And here's where I hit the middle, and that's where I grabbed my other skein of the DK. I wound it down to the till I got to the white part, and then I'm going to use this separately. And then I continued on and I crocheted until it went down the other side. And now I've got my other side that has 1, 2, 3, approximately 4.5. Actually, I think I did one extra there, so I'm going to pull this back. So 4 solid rows of blue and then a little bit more of blue. And my scarf is measuring around 30 inches per half, so about 60 inches total, which is quite long, but great for a pocket scarf. So now I wanted to bring a little bit of the brown color down to the bottom. So after I finish my last row here, I'm going to go ahead and cut this, and then I'm going to grab one of my other skeins that have a little bit of that brown left in it, which I think this one has some in the center. It sure does, and so does this one right here. So you'll have quite a few left over from it. So I'm going to grab this brown and I'm going to work that with the white along to go around the edge and make sure that I get some of this brown kind of bleeding into this bottom part to kind of make it flow just a little bit better. I wound my ball. I ended up winding the rest of that into a little ball using my yarn winder, so I can easily do the center pull with that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Okay, I cut it. So I'm just going to pull it through like that, and then I'll weave in those ends. I'm using clippers today because I've seemed to have lost all of my scissors, and I have no idea why or how, but they're all gone. So I'm just going to weave this back in through the top. Clippers actually work really great if you don't have scissors on hand. They get really close to your stitch too. So there we go. That's all weaved in. Now this is the top part of my star and this is the bottom part. So I'm going to put this right here. We're not going to flip it inside out or anything. We're just going to work along the edges starting from here and go around, and then we're going to go all the way up the scarf and back down and meet back at the beginning. I'm using this brown color because I like it. So take both strands like this. So I'm going to take both strands and I'm going to create a slip knot. I'm going to take my hook out, and then I'm going to bring up my work and try to line it up as best as possible. I'm going to go through the top right here, and it looks like this is the very, no, right there, okay. And I'm going to go through my closest stitch on the other side. I'm going to go through the entire stitch on this one. Just going to let those tails drop on the back side. So I'm just going to let the tails drop off to the side, and I'm going to pull that slip knot through like that. Then I'm going to chain one. And when I do my first stitch, I'm going to go through the same exact space where I just went, and I'm going to do a single crochet. So I'm just going to work through each one of the chain ones that we did for each of the on the back side of that, and just go through right here and do single crochets. Nothing fancy, just joining the pocket. And you can make these loose. You can use a half double crochet. You can use double crochet. However you want to join these. You can even sew it and do the reverse sewing. But I wanted to create something a little bit more secure, and not only that, but kind of chunky. I don't know. I wanted it to be kind of wintry and also bring the brown color into this color right here at the same time as creating the pocket and creating a border all at the same time. And the back side might look a little bit chunky, but not really. It goes pretty good. It seems like it blends in pretty well back there. But I really like that. So I'm going to continue going around like this. And then I'm going to continue with that color and work up the scarf. So when you get to the corner, you're going to work through the corner stitch on your base and the corners, the corner stitch on your mosaic and the corner stitch on your base of your scarf. And then we're going to do 3 single crochets into that same stitch to create our corner. And then we're going to start working along the top side and do single crochets into each of those stitches. You can make this a sharper corner if you want by doing a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. Let's see what that looks like. We might like that better, but who knows? So we're going to chain 2 and then work straight back in with another single crochet. So do we like that better? No, but it might work good for hanging tassels, so let's keep it. And now I'm going to start working all the way down into each of the bottom stitches and each of the top stitches on the top. There, that makes for a really sharp corner. Let me pull this out and see if I like it or not. Or if I like more of a rounded, I think I like more of a rounded look. So I'm going to pull it back and do my 3. I like the softness of the corner. I think it looks better. I don't know. You do whatever you want to do, but I personally like this one better. It's more solid too, no holes. Okay, so when I went down, I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, and 26 puts me right at the corner. And so along the bottom, I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, plus my corner stitch. So it's just about even around. And as we knew before, our chart width is a little bit different from what we got when we did this. So it's just try to make it even. I kind of consolidated a few stitches and just, made it work. And so I'm going to continue up the side, and then right here, I've got my flap. It's still open. I'm going to continue up this side, and then I'm going to figure out whether or not I want to continue around the whole thing or not. Okay, so I finished it and this is what it looks like. And I really like this. I think it turned out really good. I like the back. It blends well. I like it blending well with the brown. And so now I'm going to try going up the side and see if I like it or not. If I don't like it, I might just tie it off right there and leave it as is. We'll see. Let's take a look at and see what it looks like going up just a few stitches. It might create some holes that I'm not a big fan of. That, do we like that edge or no? I think I like it. I think it finishes it off a little bit better, adds a little bit more of a finishing touch to it than just this edge. See the difference? Yes. So I'm going to continue around and let the colors flow where they may. Okay, so once you get to the other end, you're going to take your other snowflake design, and I'm not weaving in these tails. I'm just going to kind of crochet them into what I'm working on. But I've come to the point where I've lined this up at the edge right here. Sorry, this might look confusing. I've lined all of this up at the edge. And so I'm going to start right about here, and I'm just going to go through and just connect it through the corners and start crocheting them both together. And I'm going to crochet those tails straight into the work. And just like we did on the other side, we're just going to go straight through both sides. Actually, oops, that went. Just line it up as best you can. It doesn't have to be perfect, of course, unless you're a perfectionist and you want to make it look perfect, but that is completely up to you. So there you go. So continue doing that around, and on the corners, you're going to do 3 single crochets, then crochet down there, do 3 single crochets on this corner, and then come back up. And once you start here, you're just going to keep going until you reach the beginning where we started on this pocket right here. And then join that, cut it, tie it off, and I'll come back when I get to that point. But I want to show you what it looks like so far, and I really love the edging. I think the edging has turned out really nice and leaves a really finished edge compared to this side. But if you want to omit that, you can just sew the pockets on. It's up to you. But this edge is pretty straight since I used a stacked double crochet instead of a chain. So yeah, this edge looks really nice. But this edge also looks really nice, and it adds like kind of a little bit of flair and a little bit of a finishing touch. And I really love the way that the pocket turned out too. And the back side, see what the back side looks like. So I'm going to add a button too. I found these really cute buttons. So I'm going to put a button right here and create a little flap to come down and close it. You don't have to do that either. You could add a zipper right here too if you want to make it more secure and stealth, like a stealth pocket, so you can hide your liquor in there. I'm just kidding. I don't drink, but I used to. And if I was drinking, I would probably use my stealth scarf pocket to hide some whiskey or something. Here are the buttons I found, these really cute buttons, and I can't remember where I got them. I'll have to look it up, but it was just like a bag of buttons. And I really like this little kind of bunny looking one. Can you see that little bunny? And I just thought that looked super cute right there. But I don't know, I'm gonna have to play around with it. And I thought I could use some beads for the eyes. Let me bring it up closer to you. Hi, Yuki. Isn't that cute? It's adorable. I thought I could use some beads for the eyes. Oh, but there's also these really pretty butterfly buttons, which are nice. But I don't know that I like the butterfly button because I think it's like a little bit too, I'm out of focus. I think it's a little bit too much. Adorable, but this star pattern is very bright and big, so I was thinking simpler would be better. So maybe just a regular button. I have some wooden buttons too. If I had this in a dark color or the small size, I think that would look pretty too. I don't know if I like that light color for that. I think the brown looks much better. So here I just added a few photographs. You can see the finished scarf of what I did. I didn't add buttons or tassels. I just liked the simplicity of it the way it was. But I might add a zipper to those pockets. And you can find this one in the Colorwork Crochet Club until 6 months from now, and then it'll be free. Hey, pretty girl. Yes, of course. Why not? Of course you're on my crochet. Say bye to everybody. Bye.